Hey everyone, and welcome back to Full Spectrum, where we'll be talking about cannabis and a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes. So today we are with a lovely, amazing crowd of people who will be talking a little bit about the changes in the culture and what it's like building a brand adjacent to cannabis. So before we get into introductions, our theme for the month is 420. So 420 is coming up. It's a very big month. Culture is changing. Everything's been changing. So keep that in mind as we go through this journey together. So let's go around, get everyone's names. Tell me kind of what your brand is or what your role is in cannabis.
Hey everyone, I'm Keisha. I'm the CEO of Explore Maryland Cannabis. We provide pathways to the cannabis ecosystem through education and access. We particularly love small business and workforce development because we know that that is a true entry point to the ecosystem. If I wanted to add something, I'm a flower girl.
Yeah. Oh, you just went straight to it.
I just had to throw it in there. You know, let's mix it up.
Toss
it in there.
Okay. Flower girl.
Yeah. Yes. So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Chelsea Redding, and I am the organizer of Sunday Dinner, essentially what started as an infused upscale dining experience turned leisure cannabis community. And I also am a flower girl. Like, that's kind of the only way to go. I hit a pendulum on the way to work.
Right.
But yeah, I'm a flower girl. Yeah.
Yeah, some people dip and dab into the vapes. I get it. Okay. I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
Hey y'all, I'm Dana. I am the CEO and founder of Plant-Based Marketing Consulting. We offer marketing solutions for wellness-based and community-driven companies and businesses with a niche in cannabis, obviously. I also have a wellness business. I'm a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, and I teach Reiki as well. So I do teach elevated yoga with loud vibes on occasion. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. And we are just a group of flower girls because flower is where it's at.
Yes. In case people need to know, you skip me, I'm also a flower girl. Yes.
That's what's up. I'll start off by saying my name is Gabe and I'm a flower guy.
Yeah.
So it's just a flower table, you know. But I'm the owner of Woke Trends. Woke Trends is a clothing brand based in Baltimore. We specialize in merch with messages of empowerment, awareness, and inclusion. We also own Smoke Trends, which is our 420 baseline. And I'm also a brand ambassador for Black Market, which is the first Black-owned cultivation in the state of Maryland. And 1/3 of the Loud Locker Room podcast. Make sure y'all check us out as well. Do a little bit of everything in the community. Glad to be here and looking forward to the convo.
I know you guys created your own brand. You decided to still stay in cannabis or find a way to stay aligned with cannabis. I guess my biggest thought to just get to know a little bit about y'all is what inspired you guys to build a brand and then still keep it in the cannabis community? Not a lot of people, you could have done marketing without incorporating cannabis. You could have done clothes, you know what I mean? You could have done your own, everyone could have done something without cannabis. So I'm curious, what inspired you guys?
I can say for me, it was just definitely a matter of cannabis is something that I've always been into since I was probably 15 was when I first was introduced to cannabis. So it's something that is cool to be able to experience this side of it, to be able to kind of profit off of something that was so stigmatized and so looked down upon as I was growing up. So to be able to be on this side of this industry as it's growing, as it's booming, it's really just dope to be a pioneer in that aspect.
I've also enjoyed cannabis. I started consuming in college. I kind of stumbled into the cannabis industry, but it really aligns with my passion for holistic wellness solutions in general, and maybe taps into a little bit of my rebellious spirit because I really like taboo industries. I like the fact that we're breaking stigmas around such a powerful plant. I think the reason I chose to stick with cannabis as I started my business, the reason why I started my business is because for one, it was really difficult for me to operate on a 9-to-5 schedule. And I also just kind of saw how businesses were operating, experienced toxic work environments, and I experienced, I would say a lot of toxicity in the spaces that I was in. And so I really just wanted to create something of my own that was value and moral forward. So that's what inspired me to create my own business. And then the industry itself, Maryland has such a big highlight on education. And so once I started to learn about terpenes and really got into the medicinal benefits of everything, it was just this is so aligned with everything else that I do. I want to continue to advocate for this and continue to make a space in this community for people like myself. So, yeah.
Love that.
I will go next. I got started more or less by accident. I also started smoking in college. I actually had a deadbeat stoner boyfriend, which is like kind of the best way to get in. And then, of course, once my mom found out I had a deadbeat stoner boyfriend, she told me that she was a stoner. So I actually started getting my weed through my mom, which was amazing. Right. Which was pretty amazing. As far as like how I got to Sunday Dinner, how I got to a brand, like that, again, was kind of completely by accident. Like I've always enjoyed really good food and really fine food. Like my mom's been taking us to, really, really fine, cloth neck in restaurants since we were like 5 or 6. So it's just something that's been a part of my upbringing, especially here in Baltimore. We have so many good, beautiful restaurants. And then I started looking around and going, I would give anything to be able to hit a J at this dinner table right now. So I started looking into, the consumption laws and what the dinners look like and what infusions look like, and started playing around with that. And then I just kind of jumped into it. I'm very much a once I get the idea, I'm gone. Somebody sent me a photo of a cocktail with a J on the edge, and she's like, this is so you. And I was like, this is so Sunday Dinner, which I pocketed years ago for something else. And I was like, I'm going to bring that back and start doing that.
I started my brand and really took the full leap because I wanted to smoke weed with my friends. To be very honest. Yeah. And that pivoted so many different times. And I think one thing that keeps me here is that I can not only still smoke weed with my friends, but I also can watch them win and support them behind the scenes, right? We talk about access, we talk about people having the opportunity, ownership, capacity, and a lot of times people don't talk about what happens behind the scenes. So I'm proud to be able to keep that engine going, but man, celebrating wins, asking folks about vacations, that's what truly keeps me in it.
Oh man, I definitely feel the community. I feel the love. I feel like we're all growing. I feel like we all agree with you on we just want to smoke with our friends. Yeah. So we're creating these spaces adjacent to the plant, but not actually dealing with the plant, which is pretty amazing. You guys that's an amazing way to kind of build that community. So I love learning about you guys, but now I'm curious I want to get to know what 420 means to you guys, and I have a special way to do that. I want you guys to think of one song that describes 420 for you, or your 420 vibes.
Yeah, it's Afro Man because I got high. Like that's really straightforward for me, but that's what it is. And like even my house rule, even if I'm home alone, if that song comes on, find the J immediately, and you have to hit it. Like, and I hide it in playlists. It's in like one good house party playlist like 4 times on purpose. Yeah.
So you have at least one session is coming in.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes they play back to back. You have to stick to the rule.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of smoking out the window myself. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Little smooth jam, you know what I mean? Something that we can all relate to. Just smoking out the window is right straight to the point, like you said as well. But yeah, that's my vibe for real smooth. I really don't get too crazy on 420 because I kind of smoke a lot every day, to be honest. Yeah, so it's smooth vibes, yeah.
I cheat a little bit because I've been curating a playlist of songs with lyrics that have cannabis in it. But if I had to pick one, it would be the Not Tonight Ladies Night remix with Lil' Kim, Missy Elliott, DeBrat, Left Eye, and Angie Martinez. Okay. Because, I mean, every time that comes on, it feels like good vibes. It feels like good food. It feels like memories with folks you don't want to forget.
I think I have to add all those songs into my Rolodex. I like them. Yeah, mine.
All vibes.
Yeah, I was like, mine's is I'm gonna be a cliche stoner. I think the first time I smoked a blunt, Juicy J was playing. So my song is definitely Stoner's Night Part 2. I could still sing the whole song back and front with no hesitation. And I had to light a blunt like you. I was like, where's my blunt? You can't pause the song. Don't even light the blunt till the song plays. You know what I mean? That was kind of the energy with that song. So I'm gonna keep it classy with Juicy.
That's good.
All right, so I got your vibes. I see we got like a little like calm, some old school, some hype. We got a little diversity here. So how well do you guys know 420?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, okay, 10 is big. Go ahead.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I give myself like a 7.
7?
Yeah, 6, 7.
Okay. 6, 7 is crazy. Yeah. All right, we gotta. Ooh, right here. It's the way he looked at me. I knew. I was like, oh God.
That was literally just for you, actually.
I know. I felt it. Because I had to look at you like, why? Say. How about, do you guys know where 420 came from? Take a guess.
The origin, the high schoolers, is that the real story? I've heard that it was like a bunch of high schoolers who decided that they were going to skip school at 420 or every day, which doesn't really make a ton of sense because I guess 420 would be after school hours. But that's the story I heard. There were high schoolers and they would skip class, or they would congregate at 420 every day, and they would sneak and smoke weed. And that's the story I was told.
Okay. What were you guys told?
I was told it was Bob Marley's birthday, but
Bob Marley's birthday?
we know that's not true.
That's not true.
Yeah. I don't think I was ever told anything. It was just understood that was the date, the time, the thing. Yeah, I don't.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Bob Marley's.
Bob Marley's birthday. I was gonna say, I asked a few people, and I've gotten police code on the radar. Like, they'll be like calling 420 on the police code. That's what I've gotten. I've heard it's the total chemical count and compounds in THC. So it's like 420 chemical compounds in it.
Okay.
I also heard.
Right, let's go with that one.
You guys like that? You want to hear the rest? I heard it also came from a famous song in the 80s. So that was something that came up into rotation. So, but I'm not gonna play around with you guys. You were right, Dana. I was
like,
so
did I make that up?
no, you were right, because that was one of my options, but you kind of dove right into it. So in 1971, 5 high schooler kids like to meet up and look for cannabis crops. So people used to grow their weed plants. So every day at 420, they would meet at a statue on campus, and they would go search for it. And then it became to the point that they just say 420 whenever they wanted to smoke, because usually when at 4:20 p.m. is something smoke related. Yeah. And then they actually knew people from Grateful Dead. So like when Grateful Dead was starting off, they used the terms around them, and then people from Grateful Dead started using that terminology too. It was never put in songs. It was never really publicized. It was one of those things where this brand started using it, and their fans and the people who like love their music started using it as well. So it's just like an underground, unspoken thing that 420 is a thing. It's never been in a song for real until later on, when it got really like popular and trending. So now that we got warmed up, we talked about 420, let's get a little bit into the culture. Like, what is cannabis culture and like the vibes of it? So my first question for everyone is, what does cannabis culture mean to you? Like, what is the culture?
I feel like the culture it changes generationally, right? Like, I know that cannabis culture, if you ask my mom that question, is different. If you ask my younger cousins, it's different. I think for me and the space that we're in, I guess it feels like more of a sense of self, right? Getting back to who you are, remembering what it means to truly enjoy. I think one of the blessings that cannabis does is it either speeds us up or it slows us down, but it always heals, right? Even without intention. So I don't know. I feel like we're entering the era of cannabis intention, and that's what the culture feels like for me. I mean, we'll always have the superstars and what's the latest trend or hip beverages, whatever it may be, but like, you can never escape what the plant does for you.
I would say it's personal, like to every person. Like, how everyone interacts with cannabis is completely different, even when it is the same. Like, in how you deal with it personally, you can find your community. And I think that that's really important. Like, for me, looking out at the landscape of the community and how people do it, it's one of the few things where, like, yes, you can sit in your house by yourself and do this, and no one is going to be like, oh, you sit in your house by yourself and do this. And for me, as a loner, yes, I'm sitting in my house by myself smoking this J. Like, duh, it's my weed. I paid for it and it's my house. But that is like, this is one of the few communities where everybody kind of feels that way. But at the same time, I'd also love to get in a circle of my people and smoke. Like, it runs the full gamut, and I think that that's personal in and of itself.
I like that. I agree with you too. It's probably the only hobby you could do by yourself and chill in your bed in the dark and no one will judge you. Mm-hmm. Yes, we understand.
I would say I feel like the culture is very, I would say 2 words come to mind: laid back and also inclusive. So when I'm preparing to go to, I guess, any event in general, like, you know, there's always like a level of nerves or like anxiousness, whatever. You never know who you're gonna see. There's like social anxiety that comes into play. I feel like cannabis events and the community of cannabis takes that like top layer of pressure off, because we know that we all have this one thing in common, and it's one thing that we get a lot of backlash and criticism for. So because everybody in the space understands that and has experienced that to some capacity, I feel like it's something that we can all bond over. And like, you don't ever have to worry about a fight breaking out at a cannabis event. You don't. And then it's just so, it's such a versatile culture. Cause like I said, at events, like, there'll be people who are lined up early. There are people who stroll in late. There's people who come dressed to their best. There's people who come in their t-shirt and their sweatpants, and everybody is welcome. So I think the inclusivity of the culture is like what draws me and what stands out to me, and the versatility. I just added that in, but yeah.
And diversity. I was trying to rhyme, girl. My heart was there with you. You had good bars, and I might have ended it bad, but you're 100% correct. I love the diversity and like how many different people can be in one room, but we all have that common ground.
Yeah,
I love that.
We're trying to smoke.
And I'm kind of piggybacking off of that. It's the community aspect for me as well. Like just the fact that you can get so many people from so many different parts of life. Like you can have doctors, lawyers, as well as people that have never had a job before, all in the same space, enjoying the same vibe. Nobody's fighting with each other. Nobody's worried about anything on the outside world. And it's kind of like you was asking about vacation earlier. What makes this job so easy is that it's not really like work. It's kind of effortless. You know what I mean? Like going to an event and talking about weed is not the most taxing thing to do in the world. So it's kind of like a stress-free environment when you're with that community of people that all have the same goal in mind to just like enjoy themselves, have a good time, and laugh because we high.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that. It's like if you love what you do, you don't notice you're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
100%. That's why I'm like, you know what? It has been a couple years since I've actually went on a vacation and planned it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I am planning one.
I tell people, I was about to say, I tell people all the time, if you're busy and you're doing your own brand, you got your own business, plan your vacations like you plan your business. Like you go 3 months out, try to incorporate a little trip for yourself or something, or do something small in the week to treat yourselves. Y'all work too hard. Yes, I know. It's a 24-hour job when you're doing your own brand. That's honesty. So I know we talked about what it means, right? The culture. Out of my curiosity, do you think that cannabis culture is universal? Like, I can go anywhere, we all have the same understanding of the culture, from state to state, from country to country, from people to people. Do you think that cannabis culture is universal? Like, we are all unspoken, we all know.
I think there's some things that are universal. Like if I walk into a session in Michigan, they probably gonna hit it twice and pass it to me. You know what I mean? But like, they might not roll the same thing that I'm rolling. So like, that's the like little nuances that might be different. But for the ultimate, yes, I think that it is the same. We're gonna all look at each other the same way when we're ready to smoke. We're gonna all know where the cuts are when it's time to smoke. You know what I mean? We all gonna have a lighter in our pocket. So like that part of the culture is definitely, you're right. Most of us gonna have a lighter in our pocket.
Okay. I'm like, hold on, I don't.
That's definitely like, I think consistent across the board in the culture.
Someone has a lighter.
Exactly.
Someone has a lighter. I agree with that. Any common etiquettes? Like what you know is, I think one of my common things is if I'm in a session with a group of people, you better ash that J before you pass it to me. If it's already at that point, you know you should ash it, don't pass it to me. Ash it first. You did that, not me. So that's like my common etiquette. I feel like everywhere I go, usually they'll pass, like, oh wait, hold on. And then they go back and ash. So that's my tea. I think that's a common. Any other etiquettes you guys can think of?
Comment etiquette is like, I think I put this comment under your Instagram post, but it's like if there's a group of us and I'm passing a J to somebody, like don't assume that J is universal for like the entire big group. If we're in a big social setting, it's like just, give me a nod, like is this going to the left or should I pass it back to you? Like, yeah, little check in.
If you don't check in, we're not friends.
Yeah,
you're an acquaintance now.
I don't want you to have me know Jay that's canoeing already. Like, you gotta,
like fix it?
Yeah, you gotta fix that problem before you
Become
send
a
it my
doctor.
way. Yeah. We all know how to do it, so like, you do it. Because again, this isn't what I caused. You caused this. You did this.
Oh, yes.
I know one thing really early when I started smoking was no wet J's, no wet blunts.
Facts.
No, and I did grow up smoking with the guys, but when I got into college and like my homegirls started, I was like, don't put the lip gloss on so soon. Put it on and then let it sit. a little bit.
Just like take it off like right here in this little area.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know like and then
Eventually, folks started bringing little straws from McDonald's.
whoa.
Very, very specific McDonald's
The
straws.
McDonald's straws is the perfect for the tips to fit in.
Yeah.
You slip it right in there, and it creates a little suction, and then you don't have to have any sticky J's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal that.
As you should.
I might have some straws in my
Pro
house.
tip.
I'm gonna get that.
Not everybody has, and McDonald's straws are thick enough too. So as the heat comes in, you're still,
tea.
you know, I'm just saying. Things you learn in college.
Behind
Thanks,
the
Mom.
scenes.
I'm stealing that. That's
I think
taken.
matching is common across the board, depending on the space and like who you're hanging out with. But like if we are specifically coming together to smoke, I'm not the only one bringing weed. Like that's crazy.
Yep.
That's absolutely insane. And if you can't contribute weed, you're feeding us. Or if we're down to get crossfaded, you're buying the alcohol or whatever else. Like you have to contribute in some way, shape, or form. And I want to believe that that's blanket across the entire culture.
Yeah, I would. So it's funny. I was actually going to talk about matching. It's something that you're amazing. That was an amazing segue. I'm telling you. So I'm just going to skip it and go straight to it. So for people who don't know what matching is, because I realize it is a slang or a lingo that people in the community do know, matching is essentially when a group of people decide to smoke together, and essentially people bring something to that session. And we all have different understandings of what you can and cannot bring to that session. So out of my curiosity, I'm gonna throw a couple of things I've noticed in matching sessions and see how you guys feel about this. First one is, if you're matching flower to flower, does it have to be the same amount of flower that you're matching? Like, can I do a skinny J, you do a fat J? Can I do a bong and, you know, oh, girl, you don't even need a mic. Okay. So equal amount every time.
I mean, I would assume that your group of friends or your community would know to match down. Like if you're like, hey, I can only bring like half an eighth. I can't be doing too much. Everybody just bring that same amount, I guess. I wouldn't expect you to bring more than you can, but you can't skimp out. If you have to skimp out, that bag don't come.
Okay, I'm not against that.
I got friends that I know just roll smaller than me though. So it's not
Some
like
people
those
roll
people.
3 grams in a
It's like-
J.
yeah, and then it's those people on the opposite side, like you said. I'm not doing
The
that.
0.5,
Like
yeah.
I'm not putting the eighth in a J.
Ever.
So if you are that guy, which I do have friends that come over, prepare for me to not have the same size blunt. But if you like rolling a blunt that can barely stand up because it's so small, then like yeah, that's a problem. So I feel you on both sides.
Yeah, I think I get you.
Yeah.
I do think the bong to J is interesting. Like,
just do
if
that.
I had a J and they brought their bong, I'd be like, I'll just smoke my J, and how about you just hit your bong? Like, I don't know. I guess maybe that's a conversation to be had. But I agree with him on the concept of size of Js. I don't really participate in sessions very much anymore because, like, I be in a house, so it's like I mostly smoke by myself now, so I tend to roll smaller Js. So when I am in sessions, I have to be conscious of that, or it's like, look, yo, I roll smaller Js. So, like, you can either, like, just kind of is what it is. It's not going to be, you know, a pencil, but
Yeah, not a pencil.
I don't mind if they're different sizes.
Definitely 100%. I was like, I honestly feel like the culture definitely changed, to keep it a bean. Like, we went from big group sessions, I think it would be like 4 people, and then either the older we get, honestly, I think because of COVID, after COVID, it kind of became like, I loved COVID, guys, because I never loved,
talk about it.
I know it sounds crazy. Just bear with me. Bear with me. There's a point, I swear. I love COVID because I never share my blunt. You guys might know that. I don't like passing my blunt. I don't like sharing my blunt because I don't think everyone rolls different. And I think I roll really nice. And unless I roll RJs, I would prefer to just smoke mine. It's nothing personal. And then COVID came along and no one wanted to, like, no one's waiting for me, like, are you gonna pass that? Right. It was very peaceful. And then now, sessions became like everyone's facing their own J. Because like at that time, like we would still hang out, but then we're facing our own Js. So now I feel like the culture is everyone bring your own J, and if you're not happy, we're cool with facing. You know what I mean? So I think that culture change was kind of crazy and appreciated. Only thing appreciated.
I will say though, I think a lot of it was prompted. I mean, depending on when you started consuming. I mean, Maryland was a medical market for a long time, so we couldn't even walk into smoke shops talking about cannabis. So it was like we meeting, but you know, cuckoo, woo, you send it through snail mail, folks know to come together. So I think it was a combination of being in a very still heavy stigmatized state, also COVID, right? Too many crunchy coughs still out here, folks.
It's a smoker's cough.
No, it's crunchy when you're in the grocery store and you're like, what is that? But I do think there's a time and a space for just thinking about what it means culturally when you can consume collectively. You may not necessarily need to share, but there's a vibe when, we both have hit that same point and we look at each other like, So it's just space and time for that, but.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So out of my curiosity with building your brand, what is your biggest challenges? Like, I guess, like building something adjacent to cannabis or keeping it authentic?
Sunday dinner specifically is for bougie people. It's because it's so hard to explain that it's not an inclusive space. It is exclusive. Like, you have to desire a certain level of experience to want to be involved with Sunday dinner, but that's not to say if you're exploring that kind of experience, you can't come in. So it's like selectively exclusive, but trying to find a way to be authentic about liking nice shit is kind of like, it's a little weird. It's how do I find my people without putting down anyone and putting down any one type of event just because I don't like it and I can hold that and other people may not want to do that. How does it look to build a community of people that just are a couple ticks up in what they like? I guess it's very hard to, like, as I'm struggling now, it's like there aren't the proper words to use without sounding a certain
I got
way,
you.
guess.
I got you with the word, though.
Yeah.
I was like, my favorite word to use, because I like to consider myself as a connoisseur. I was like, I've done from the beginning to the end of the whole smoking cycle, from smoking out of water bottles to don't talk about it, don't laugh at me. I did it. No shame in I know y'all did it, but we ain't gotta talk about it. And then I've smoked Dutchess to now getting to paper to learning about glass. And now it's like, because I've done it for so long, so many years, it's like finding a way to level that up. As a connoisseur, I'm willing to have a gravity bong at a dinner table and eat a fine dine meal and explore a new way to elevate myself. I feel like there's it's a niche in the community because of how new it is, but there's a niche for connoisseurs looking to explore new ways.
Between that, thank you for that, because that makes me feel a lot better.
You're amazing.
Between that, thank you, and and asking for help. That one's a big one for me. I don't usually do projects for myself. I've just been lucky enough to have jobs that allow me to do what I do best. So, like, I've done activations and marketing for pushing almost 12 years. And it's just been so much fun. But I was like, well, the cannabis thing, I couldn't get a job at a dispensary. I couldn't get in. And then I was like, well, I could just do it from the outside. Like, it started as I can do a project and then put it on my portfolio and then get the job after the fact. It was pretty much the point of Sunday dinner too. But asking people for help is one of the other really hard roadblocks after trying to be authentic as possible.
I get that. You want to keep your brand authentic, so asking for help, you don't want to lose that sense, like, of, is this getting across the same, or is my message still the same? Will this person carry my energy and keep it going? Girl, we all want to do everything at once. I understand, If we could, we would. Yes.
Yeah, I think one of my challenges that I'm working through as it relates to, like, staying authentic in business is, like, discernment and not saying yes to everything. And so, I created my niche for a reason. I target wellness companies for a reason, and it's because I am a wellness brand, and I participate. I'm, like, active in the wellness space, and so I think that's what keeps me authentic. So I have had, you get excited when people come to you and they're like, I need your help with social media, and, like, here's this check, and, like, you looking at the numbers and the numbers are looking real cute, and you're like, okay, like, yeah, I'll work with you, and then you realize maybe you should have took a pause, maybe you realize that, like, maybe this client doesn't fit into what I'm truly passionate about. And, like, I don't know, I'm the type of person where, like, if I don't want to do something, I can't. That's why I have my own business. Like, I literally can't. I have up and left jobs because, like, I just can't do it. And so staying within what I am passionate about is what allows me to stay authentic. So certain companies have come to me, and it's a newer practice of being able to say, like, I appreciate you reaching out to me for these services, and I don't think I'm the best fit, and not saying yes to everybody because the money looks nice or you want to build your business, or, like, so I guess moving out of like a survival mindset and moving out of like a lack mindset of like, oh, I need all these things, and like letting the things that attract naturally attract to me, and like, again, pausing before saying yes to really be like, does this fit with what I enjoy? Because otherwise I'm no longer being authentic as I try to force a personality for this company that like it just doesn't fit with me. So that's what I've been working through.
With Woke Trends, it being a clothing brand, it's something that's like so many people have clothes. So you have to do outside of that, right? So like Woke Trends is a clothing brand, but it's really just a brand. We do so much more than merch, and I think that's what keeps us authentic. Part of my burnout is that I feel like I have to be in person all the time. Like every time I'm booked, I want to be there. I want to be able to show up. I want to be able to show face. I want people to be able to talk to me, as well as just like the things we do outside of the clothes. Like homeless people are a spot for me. So like we give clothes away to the homeless all the time. I'm just driving through the streets giving them away. I'm putting together a pizza party for the homeless, partnering with local businesses that are going to donate, getting donations from our community. I'm in the process of writing a children's book because children are also my thing. So like giving back to the community in that way. So like being authentic in a way that I'm not always just trying to sell you something. I'm also trying to uplift this community as well, because Baltimore is my city, my home. So like anything I could do to uplift the people around me, the people that I grew up with, and then like their children as well is like a part of the authenticity piece that we try to give. The downside to that is just like I can't be everywhere at once, like figuring out how to like balance that work-life balance, and as well as just being able to like, because I'm a husband as well, so like be home for my wife, and like trying to figure out how to do all those things at once would be the downfall or the thing that I'm working on in this moment.
So talking about building your brand and keeping everything authentic, one thing I noticed, like, culture changes, and it's based off like what's out there, what people see and stuff like that. Who do you think really owns cannabis culture?
I think in addition to laws, I think just the way in which we consume curates the culture too, right? Like puffcos were not popping in the 90s, but now like you have to have some type of electronic device to consume your concentrates. And imagine explaining concentrates to somebody who was down heavy in the early 90s. They looking at you like, what is that?
With the torch and everything, the whole contraption before the electronic life. It was hard. It was hard before we got those little pens and the little puffcos and Dabtrons. We look crazy.
Your eyebrows, too much. Be careful. So I think that might be part of it too. And then regionally, right? Like shout out to our family in Maine. You know, that is a blend of concentrate to flower state because they grow great flower, fire in, fire out. So like if I'm going to enjoy the flower, I'm going to enjoy the concentrates. Whereas you go to Florida, it's a totally different conversation.
Yeah. Because of like literally what everybody else is saying around like the law has shaped. So like because of that, because of all these limitations, because we have to switch language, it kind of forces cannabis to be like a lifestyle brand in a way. Like it forces you to loop in other elements. It forces you to say, okay, come take this edible with me and I'm gonna cook, or come take this thing with me and I'm gonna go to this museum, or let me show you. And then there's also the constant pressure to break the stigma. So it's like a lot of like in the influencer culture, while there are some influencers I've seen who are like, you know, they play into the typical stoner community, I think a lot of them more so are really trying to prove a point that they can do all of these other things, like this, and we're gonna do cannabis and all of my daily activities, and we're just gonna add this as like this adjacent factor. So it almost becomes that we can't just talk directly about the plant. We have to create this lifestyle around it, and because we're trying to prove ourselves so much that it's like we can do this and function. In fact, some people really need it to function, like that it is literally medicinal that we're constantly trying to prove this point. So it kind of pushed forward the lifestyle aspect, which I'm not mad at, but it's just there's still all these limitations around it, and I think that has helped shape the whole lifestyle of what a stoner is.
I want to get a little bit about you guys. So you guys have built this brand adjacent to cannabis. Because I know it was hard. I know you guys worked really hard. You stayed consistent, which is the number one key to building any brand, any business outside of cannabis. And I'm just curious, like, what is your biggest achievements?
I think, so my answer has two parts. One is more personal, and then one is more like, I guess, outwardly. So I guess like outwardly, I would say the thing I'm most proud of in my business is that up until now, I have not had to pitch to anybody. I have gotten all of my clients through referrals, through word of mouth, through friends of friends, through networking, and I don't take it for granted, but I'm very proud of that. Like, I'm very proud of the fact that I've been able to attract like what's for me in this space. And then I think on a personal level, just how much I've allowed building a business to be a mirror for who I am and teach me so much about myself. So I guess back to the authenticity piece, I've been able to stay authentic by admitting that like I don't know everything, and like I have made mistakes, and being able to reflect on those mistakes and take accountability and really just see like, oh, like your business is personal. It is a reflection of you. Like like your business will teach you so much about yourself, and also the idea, like accepting the idea that like I can still be figuring it out, and that doesn't make me any less qualified. And so that authenticity that I have been able to keep of just like, I'm also figuring this out as I go, and being able to showcase that. Like, I don't showcase only like highlights of my content and all that. Like, I also show like the moments where I'm trying to figure things out. So I think I'm just proud of how much I have grown with my business, and being able to like accept the fact that like it's okay to have weaknesses, and it's actually a really beautiful thing to know what they are, because we're not supposed to do things by ourselves. So not harping on the fact that like, oh, I don't know how to do this, so I have to figure this out. It's like, no, I don't know how to do this, so I have to find somebody who can and collaborate. So I think just the self-discovery and like having it's only us. Like, we are our businesses. That nobody is gonna call us if we late. Nobody is gonna be like, hey, you good? Like, I haven't heard from you in a while. It's really just us holding ourselves accountable. So the fact that I've been able to do that and reflect and grow through this journey is something that I'm very proud of.
I haven't gotten very far in my own project or my own brand yet, so I don't have any big milestones that I've met, but I will say that I am proud that I have at least a baseline community. Like, getting on threads and talking about what my program is going to be and like what I'm trying to build, and then pivoting back to a community, because when I started, community was not top of mind. It was, let's get this dinner off and get it on the portfolio and call it a day. That the community was already there. When I had to say, hey, we're not doing the dinner till 2027, everybody was like, okay, cool, then what we doing? And everybody was just kind of on for it and ready. And every time I get online and I post anything in the community, people like it, people engage with it, people share it with each other. I'm coming up in conversations, which I think is really cool. So like I'm easing in, and that I think that in and of itself is pretty great so far. It feels really good.
Biggest achievement, I've hit a lot of my milestones. I brought a lot of things into fruition that I didn't even think could. But the biggest thing I think is I've been able to survive and thrive full time in this space and not lose my sense of self. I think a lot of times, like you mentioned, like, how do you stay, authentic? How do you stay consistent? How do you keep to making sure that your business doesn't take away from what your true identity is? And so I get to do this every day. It doesn't feel like work. It is hard talking to folks about rules and regulations, but the community will show up for you, especially in times when you don't really have it. So that's my biggest thing. I get to wake up every day in a house I pay for.
Cannabis money paid my rent. Weed paid my rent. I love that. For anyone who's out here listening, thinking about creating their own cannabis space, what piece of advice, lesson, trait, whatever you could think of, would you give someone who wants to build something but adjacent to cannabis, not necessarily in the handling the plant process? So any advice, tips for the viewers listening?
Since we've been talking about law so much, just be prepared for the law to still apply to you. I was not prepared for that. Like, I jumped into it. I was like, okay, build a website, do the things, and money was getting tied up. Websites were getting shut down. Like, all of that is still going to affect you, even though you're not selling the plant direct to people. I think that's important to remember.
Yeah, educate yourself about the laws, regulations, what you can and cannot do before you start your business. That's smart.
I would say part of it for me is like, I've always consistently heard, like I said earlier, like everybody has a clothing brand. So it's like everybody has a bunch of weed too, and that didn't stop these different companies from starting their own business. So like, I feel like people find themselves at a spot where they have an idea but get stuck on the fact that there's so many people that are doing it, but people don't have the same exact idea that you have. just like everybody said today, everybody grows their own community of people, and it's beyond what the product is. It's really about what you are. And if you show that genuine authenticity to your customers and to the people that you're trying to talk to, and it comes off that way, it's easy for them to like navigate and build with you and support you in whatever that endeavor may be. So just like showing that that's what you're really about, showing that it's really not just about this money, but it's about a holistic approach to it all, I think is the key to being successful in a space like this.
Be true to your heart, be who you are. Honestly, that's what makes working effortless. Like if you really love what you do and you embody it, everything will come to you. That's what I think. Like what you project is what you will receive. And you built your tribe.
Alignment, that's it. And when you're out of alignment, you'll know. And stick with it throughout the entire process, because it doesn't stop. The fear doesn't stop. The loneliness doesn't stop. Find your people, love them hard, but stay aligned.
Thank you guys for breaking that down. And I do want to say, because it is 420, I want to end on a high note. Definitely on a high note. So let's get a little fun here. I have some quick fire questions to ask you guys. Blurt it out if you know the answer. If you don't have anything to say, don't worry. No pressure on our end. Just peer pressure. I feel like every state is different with any lingo, any slang, you know? What is the craziest slang you've ever heard? Like from another state, or how they describe weed, or, you know?
When people say like L for a J, like smoke a L, I don't understand.
Because it's not shaped as an L. Sorry.
Why would it be? I don't understand what the L is short for, but I've heard
Nelly
that.
did that in his song.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Come and smoke a L with me in the
get
back of a
You're good.
Benzie.
Yeah.
Hey. Y'all, I was on beat.
I need more context. I genuinely don't understand. Like,
I'm going to just tap in on this. I think I'm from DC. So coming to Baltimore was a change for me. And then I started working at in the dispo scene. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I hate this term, half a baby. Let it go. Let it go. Let Baltimore as a whole, just half a baby. I thought he wanted a half an ounce. Because that makes sense. A half of a baby would be a half ounce, right? No, it's an eighth.
It's an eighth.
And there's no full baby.
Little half a baby.
Why can't I get a full baby,
Well,
a quarter?
A full baby probably is average 7 pounds when they born, right? So a half a baby is like 3.5.
That's why.
I just came up with that.
You just came up with that, right? Okay. That sounded good.
Yeah, that's what we gonna go with. Yeah, that's what we going with.
Why didn't no. I wish I met you 3 years ago. That I really stared at everyone like, you want a half of a baby? We smoke KDs because of Kevin Durant, the 3.5. You know,
I get it.
But no one wants to smoke half a baby.
Nah, I'm good on those.
Do you follow the puff puff pass rule? Puff puff pass. 2 puffs pass.
No.
Yes.
Depends on who I'm with. No.
I did not.
You smoking too much. Puff, puff, pass.
I did not.
No, I don't care. I don't care. No.
Nope.
I'm a 3. I puff 3 times. I think I'll let people hit it 3 times. The 4th time, I do look at you a little bit longer.
Like,
are you passing?
Damn.
yeah. I'm a
don't.
yapper. I'm used to smoking by myself now too. So I feel like I used to have better puff puff pass etiquette, but now I be holding it. I be telling my story. My friends be like, "Oh yeah, here you go, my bad, bang. Like we can roll another one. It's okay. I'm not stingy. I'm really passionate about what I'm saying."
What? Because there's so many things happening, so many events. What do you think was the best event that happened in Maryland that captured the culture, captured the actual spirit and essence of 420, the community and culture?
I love the Maryland Leaf holiday parties. I think it's grown to a point where it reaches the different audiences that we as brand organizers want to reach. Everybody's got, different opinions about how things are done, but if you're talking about encapsulating Maryland culture, you're talking about brands, you're talking about where to be. I mean, for me, that's when I get to see my fellow coworkers in the industry. Absolutely, and we're taking a picture. We may only see each other once a year, but for me, that's Maryland, truly. The holiday party. Shout out to Wyatt.
Yeah, Wyatt, you holding it down. Maryland Leaf. Love that.
Actually, because mine piggybacks off of yours. I didn't view it that way because I'm I guess I'm in the industry now-ish, but
Girl, you in the industry. You in the industry.
but like beforehand, it felt like very much an outsider just showing up to this thing. I was likely just my anxiety. I did not enjoy the holiday party. It was just very overwhelming. Like my Lyft took 30 minutes to get from the light on that corner to be able to drop me off. I had to walk up the hill. The parking was crazy. Like my event coordinator brain was like, what the
It definitely grew. Yeah,
and then
crazy.
Yeah, like, and then I got in, and it was like, I don't know nobody. Everybody's huddled up. Yeah, I'm going home. I think I was in the house for like 5 minutes. I walked in, did a loop, left. And like I said, likely my anxiety, but the way you've described it. And honestly, looking at all of the recap, like watching the recaps come up in the different photos, and I was like, okay, that's why. This is an industry event. Like going to be able to really connect with the people you know, the names, the faces, that's a completely different experience. Like, and that I can see the beauty in that for sure. I'm looking forward to sneaking into the Leaf Bowl. I know I just said that out loud, but I work for the Museum of Industry where it's being held. So I'm just really excited to just
I got you, girl. Come on.
I also have a ticket if you need a
see
ticket.
what it's about. Like I was already just so proud of like my workplace, like being able to house this, and I was like, oh, that would be really cool. And then I remembered, this is my workplace. I can kind of just show up with my name tag on and call it a day. So I'm really looking forward to giving that space another try. I've only ever talked with Wyatt via email, but he seems so cool and just he's a nice guy. And I'm like, okay, let me give this another shot and try this again and be ready for a different room. I was not in the right headspace to be able to take in that room for what it was. I'm going in a network and I got to do this and the event head was there and I'm like, and it just didn't hit for me there. But the reframing of it and taking it as it is after the fact, I'm looking forward to trying it again.
Any events you guys want to shout out?
You know I'm biased.
Be biased. I like that.
So one of my favorite. I do also love Wyatt's events.
Shout out again.
Yeah, the holiday party has grown to a point where we have to find a bigger venue that will host all of these people because Overhills is like the largest venue. So I think it was more so, to Chelsea's point, like the venue versus the experience that maybe was more limiting in this past year because it just got so big. But I host a field day. Keisha hosted it with me the first year. This will be our third year doing it. But the field day, I really enjoy just seeing. It's the only paid ticketed event in Maryland so far. And so I think because of that, I have been able to really reach an audience of recreational consumers and industry people. And so I think the blend of both, and then I'm all about wellness and like inner child. So seeing people come together, and it's also become like a team building event. So like the dispensaries, they sponsor their teams to come out and play. The brands will sponsor their teams to come out and play. And so to see everybody just playing games and having a good time and kind of pushing forward breaking the stigma around what stoners do, because it's not just an event where you stand around and you pass J's and all the things. It's an event where you're actually interacting. So I really enjoy that aspect of it, and I just think it's super fun. I think it ties right into the cannabis experience, and hopefully, regulations depending, we'll be able to run it again this year.
Run it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back, bring it back.
I was going to go the bias route too because I also host events. So like we hosted a night at the Apollo, which was essentially like a night we had about 8 different acts from violinists, dancers, singers, poets. They all came out, put on a showcase. We had about 8 different vendors selling whatever their talent is, from shea butter, clothes. We had some weed brands out there. 420 friendly venues, so it was just a cool vibe. We had it set up like auditorium style seating so people could just relax, chill, meet some new people. We had a bunch of different like little networking bingo going on so people got to interact with each other, some raffles and giveaways. But it was a very different crowd from the first time I did it, which was cool. So it was nice to see like that this type of event can bring out all types of people. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing something like that again in the future for sure too.
I love that. From intimate spaces to big spaces, there's always a little embodiment of the culture going on. At the end of the day, we're just stoners trying to find new things to do and explore and build a bigger community, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So love everyone's answers. Thank you guys for sharing your stories, letting people know like what to expect or what your experiences are within this cannabis adjacent world. If you enjoyed our conversations, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, drop any suggestions if you want to see in our next episodes or things that you think we should explore in the community. And don't forget, it's 420, y'all. So hopefully you guys are either medicating while you're enjoying this film or about to medicate and celebrate. Just know, keep your culture authentic, keep your vibes high, and then keep your stories real. Be authentic. Keep it real 420. Happy 420, everyone.
Happy 420.
Yes. Now let's go smoke. Second, let me